Hello, today I will present the Navette made by Artisan Coutelier, a French company. Well, I never learned any French, so my pronunciation is probably awful and I apologize for that. But let's talk about the knife. This is my first French knife, but even more interesting is that it's I would call it a semi-custom knife, and it costs less than 100 euros, which is really outstanding, I think. So when you go to their website, you can click on the configurator, choose the basic model. I chose the Navette, which is their smallest model, and then you have to choose between blade material, blade finish, handle material, and the small details. So mine is still new, so you can see a bit of oil here, no problem. So this is how it looks. I chose maple wood for the handles and basic stainless steel as a blade material, and this means in this case it's made out of 12C27 Sandvik steel, which is not the greatest steel in the world, but it's okay. It's not obviously not a hard used knife. It's a small traditional European folder. As you can see, it's a slip joint with a stop at around 90 degrees, non-locking, two-handed opening, small knife, so it's pretty much legal anywhere in the world, almost, because the blade is 9 centimeters long. So if you have to have a knife with under 3 inches, this might be a bit too long, but most places it would be legal. So yeah, mine cost around 88 euros in this configuration. You can even go cheaper than that if you leave out some details here on the back, but you can also go much higher if you choose, for example, damask steel for the blade and meteorite handles. Go figure. You will end up around, I don't know, 1000 euros. So you can go from very cheap to very expensive. I wanted it to be almost basic, because I found it interesting that you can have a almost custom made knife for this price, and it's also very traditional looking, and as I said, it's a French knife, but these kind of knives, or this style, is almost exactly the same style that was used in the place where I live now. So it's almost, my grandfather had a knife that looked almost exactly the same from the profile, only the back was obviously not so sophisticated. So that's what I like about it. The fit and finish is great. These pins are totally flush with the handle, only the pins here stick out a little bit, but it's probably because it's the pivot here. Yeah, and the pivot is a bit lower. Yeah, that's that. The interesting part is here on the back, if you can see, which is really beautiful. So as I said, I chose maple wood for the handles. Then we have red liners. In the middle we have a spring made of stainless steel, but with a pattern machined into it. And between the spring and the red liners we have some steel plates, which can also have a specific pattern, but I chose to have plain steel plates, because otherwise I think it would be overloaded with all these different layers. So I think this is already beautiful enough. And it's very, I mean, you can only feel a little bit the pattern here, but the rest, the liners and the handle scales are all flush and perfectly finished. And overall the handles are well rounded, so I feel really great in hand. And I always test it the way that I roll the handles in my fingers like this, yeah, and you can see immediately if it's how it feels, and this is really ergonomically fits great, even though it's a small knife. So yeah, it's also relatively thin, so it's not a hard to use knife, but if you look for something more individual, not a mass-produced knife, this is great. It doesn't come with a clip, so I ordered also the leather sheath with the maker's mark on it, which is specifically made for this model, so it fits perfectly. Cost a few euros extra, but I think it's worth it. Yeah. In yesterday's video we talked about the Manly Comrade, which is also a slip joint and also under 100 euros, but this is pretty much it, what they have in common. Overall, I would say in a general philosophy of use they are completely different, because this is a knife that's all about performance and efficiency, but this one is more about nice looks and feels and having something special or individual. So when you order, when you choose the combination you want in the configurator, they actually have to make that knife from scratch and then they will ship it to you, so it will take a while. Usually it takes around 10 working days for them to complete the knife and then they will ship it to you. But I think it's worth it because, yeah, even though someone else can come along and choose the exact same options that I have and have the exact same knife, but there are probably not that many, whereas there are probably a few hundreds or thousands of this exact same combination of handles and blade. Yeah, so if you like to see more videos about traditional knives, or how to say, a modern take on traditional European knives, stay tuned, because I have a video coming up about this one here, the Müller MSB backlog. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.